welcome back to another video and welcome to your stimulus check update, stimulus package, and infrastructure update. So we actually have some huge news that came out this morning. This morning, if you didn't know, was the August jobs report. That is when it got released. And we got some big news that I want to cover. And this is going to impact the next stimulus package or the infrastructure bill. This is going to, probably bring in more lawmakers to push for other priorities. They're going to change things around based off of the stuff that we just saw come from this report. Okay, so let me break down what this report said. First, our unemployment rate dropped from 5.4% down to 5.2%. That is good. Here's where things get bad. And yes, things get bad very quickly. According to the August jobs report, we only added 235,000 new jobs. We were expecting 720,000 new jobs were going to be added. Well, that was a huge miss. We missed that by almost 500,000 jobs. That is huge. This is horrible for the economy when this was a full month when those 26 states, 25 Republican states, and the one Democratic state canceled their unemployment benefits early. Okay, this was a huge miss. So everybody was expecting a hiring surge. All these experts were anticipating that people were going to be just going back to work in huge waves. Well, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. And unemployment benefits. Okay, unemployment benefits. This ends in 3 days. 3 days on September 6th. The federal unemployment benefits, that enhanced unemployment benefit and boost, that ends. That's that $300 per week boost. That's gone. That's that long-term unemployment benefit. That is gone. That unemployment assistance for gig workers and self-employed workers and freelancers, that's gone as well. And no states that I've seen are going to extend this from the state itself. So that's creating a huge issue. Now, I told you this a couple weeks ago, hiring is not coming back as quickly as many people think. It's just not. Businesses that are hiring right now, they tend to be the more beginner jobs. Okay, beginner jobs, minimum wage work, and that's stuff that people do not want to go back to. If they held a previous job that wasn't a minimum wage income, they do not want to go backwards. That's not what they want. Right now, and again, in most states, a minimum wage job still puts you below the median income level. And if you can't make more money, you're unable to afford a house. And in some cases, you couldn't even afford an apartment, even a one-bedroom apartment, because you'd be spending the majority of your income on housing. And most experts say you want to be under 30% of your monthly take-home pay should be going to housing, under 30%. But most Americans are somewhere around 50 to 55% of their monthly income is going to housing. That's crazy. Let me just ask you this. How much, percentage-wise, how much of that income is going to housing? Let's say you make $3,000 a month, and let's say $1,500 is going to your house, your rent, your mortgage, whatever. That's 50%. That's huge. And this is the reason why many financial experts are saying this is why the American people cannot afford to survive, because all their money is going to housing. And this is what the Biden administration is trying to do. They want to create more affordable housing. However, their plan is too slow. According to many experts, the plan to create an additional 100,000 new homes, affordable housing, this is not going to be enough when we are about 7 million homes behind. So again, huge numbers, but that's where we're at. But what does all this mean for the next infrastructure bill? What does this mean? What is Congress going to do? Well, it's actually pretty simple. What we heard today simply means Congress must look at the unemployment crisis for what it is. An actual crisis. This isn't just the Delta variant. It's not just Delta taking hold of the economy. No, it's that. It's the jobs that we saw before are not coming back. The businesses that closed are not going to reopen. The people out there that are, self-employed, gig workers, freelancers, some of them that work for themselves, right? Which all of them do, but they might not be in business any longer. And so all the employees that they used to employ, they're gone. They have nothing. They cannot go back to work because that business essentially closed. But again, we started getting reports on that last year. But where are the reports now? Nowhere to be found. You don't see that now. And so that's very tough. That's difficult to watch, is that all these people pretty much have been forgotten. And again, I have a number that I want to bring to your attention in just a minute regarding the people that are not looking for work anymore. Because there's still a lot of people that are not looking for work, but yet should be. Now, just this morning, more lawmakers came forward saying that more needs to be done, not just for the unemployed, but for the people that are currently suffering. All people that are currently suffering. This includes those that were upended from their homes due to wildfires, floods, and obviously Hurricane Ida. This includes those on a fixed income and people whose only income was unemployment. And I say was because in just 3 days, those people will not have an income. It's going to be tough, but they will not have an income. But when it comes to reaching an agreement with Congress, Senator Joe Manchin, he's standing in the way. Essentially, he blocked everything just the other day. Joe Manchin, if you don't remember, I did a video on this last night. And again, this is troubling, but Joe Manchin is standing in the way because he feels that now is not the time to spend $3.5 trillion and that there's actually no good time to spend $3.5 trillion, not on infrastructure or stimulus. So we're going to see what happens. But many experts are saying that people on a fixed income and those lower income earners, they are going to feel the effects of what is going on right now for a long time, unless Congress steps forward and provides them with some additional help. So here's what the jobs report told us about who is suffering the most. White Americans, they have an unemployment rate of 4.5%. Blacks, 8.8%. That's almost double, 8.8%. Hispanics, 6.4%. But the jobs report, okay, it shows that people not in the labor force that currently want a job declined by 835,000 people to just 5.7 million people. Let me read that again. People not in the labor force that currently want a job, that declined. So people that are not currently looking for work but would like to work, the amount of people actually declined by 835,000. That's a lot. It's a lot of people that are currently not looking for work that want a job. That's a huge number. In that total, 5.7 million people. That's a lot of people. We also saw that the unemployment in the retail trade declined by 29,000 in August. This included 13,000 from building materials and garden supply stores, and another 23,000 from food and beverage. Now this obviously has to do with Delta. Obviously has to do with the Delta variant. However, that's a pretty substantial number when everyone is telling us the economy is booming, things are coming back, we're rebounding. No, we are not. We were rebounding. Now, things are looking troubling. Yesterday, Senator Joe Manchin, he said that Congress should put a strategic pause on the passing of the $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill. But I don't know if this happens now with the jobs report that we just saw this morning. I don't think it does. But his theory behind this, again, and I think it's interesting to understand his theory behind this, especially now that we got this report. But his theory behind this pause was to see if inflation was transitory or not. Now, I don't see the Federal Reserve tapering stimulus spending this month. They were originally talking about we could potentially see the taper happen as soon as September. However, based off this news, I expect to see tapering happen sometime in November. I don't even see it happening in October. Okay, as November is probably the earliest. However, we may see this happen sometime in 2022. And that would actually be good news, because right now many experts worry that if the Federal Reserve decides to not buy bonds and not spend all this money, I think it's like $120 billion per month, if they don't do that and they limit the amount of stimulus going back into the economy, that could really hurt us. But at the same time, some worry that the Federal Reserve has been doing this for so long, there's no way they can simply just say, okay, we're done, we're not helping anymore, because that would be detrimental. Well, according to a few experts, here's what they have to say. They believe that a pause right now on the $3.5 trillion stimulus package, right now that we're not seeing jobs come back as quickly, this would actually be detrimental to the economy, to the economic growth that we have seen. They also say that any pause would contribute to a catastrophic collapse in if the Delta variant surges much more than it has. This isn't great information. This is not great information. This is troubling, but at the same time, it's like trying to figure out, what is Congress going to do? What are they going to do? Honestly, I have no idea what they're going to do. I can see reports, I can see what lawmakers say, but when one lawmaker says, oh, we're going to pass additional stimulus, but then you got others that say, no, we're not going to pass it, and so they kind of contradict each other, even in the same party. Even Democrats are saying, yes, we need more stimulus checks, and we got others say, no stimulus checks. We got some Democrats that say, yeah, we're gonna pass an extension to the unemployment benefits. We're gonna do that in September. Okay, great. But then we got some that say, no, we're not gonna pass any unemployment benefits. We are not gonna pass any extension. Then we got some that say, we're gonna pass this in September. And then you got Nancy Pelosi saying that, our goal is to get this passed by October 1st. However, when Nancy Pelosi creates a deadline, it's usually a missed deadline. Nothing against Nancy Pelosi. But when she says, yeah, this is our deadline, most people are like, yeah, it's just a Nancy Pelosi deadline. Doesn't mean a thing. And so right now we got all these different lawmakers that are contradicting each other. And it makes things very difficult. Now, this is why another push for stimulus checks is very likely. According to multiple experts this morning, many want to see a stimulus check as it creates certainty for the American people in a time like this, where we don't know if jobs are going to come back. We see all these signs, hiring. But let me just point this out. So I have a friend that does run a smaller restaurant, okay? And he has all these signs, hiring's like $15, $75 an hour, whatever it is, right? The $250 sign-on bonus, all these things. And what he's telling me is, people keep coming in. They keep coming in. They want a job. But then the issue is, do you have any experience as a waiter, waitress? No. Okay, no problem. We can teach you. All right. Are you open to working, weekdays and possibly weekends? I can work weekdays. However, I have to be off at 3 o'clock, 3:30, whenever, because I have kids. I have to get them from school. No, I can't work on weekends because I don't have anybody to watch my kids. Okay. So just based off what he's telling me, people are coming in looking for a job, yes. But then the issue is they don't have childcare. They don't have childcare after school. They don't have childcare on the weekends. So how do they continue to work if they do not have childcare? That's the issue. The issue is not the job itself, it's the childcare. So this is what we're seeing, and this is according to President Biden and the Biden administration, this is what they want done in this next package, is they want to include childcare and pay no more than 7% of your monthly take-home pay. That's going to be big. This could be very big, but again, will it pass? I don't know. Others want to see unemployment get extended because we are seeing jobs right now, and just because we're seeing jobs right now, okay, doesn't mean that we are going to continue to see jobs moving forward. At some point, people are just going to stop looking. They're just going to, pay their employees more that are working to do more than one task. And I've already seen this. I've already seen this with many of my friends, many relatives, that they are taking on additional responsibilities. They're getting in a little bit more of a pay increase just because they are taking on these different responsibilities. So again, it's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward. Some lawmakers are pushing for more rental aid. They say as income is very questionable across the board, and it is. If we don't have a stimulus check, if we don't have unemployment income, right? If we don't have additional rental aid, what are the American people supposed to do? It's tough. It's very tough at this point. And we also have a handful of lawmakers that are asking to see something for Social Security recipients. They say, with the increase in all products and services, the cost is more expensive. Things are too expensive for this group on a fixed income. And that's absolutely true. Let's say you only get $1,000 a month, and yet you got to go to all these different, different things, your appointments, and maybe you drive. Well, you probably have hopefully not a car payment, but you are probably paying for a car insurance, which is required. You probably have to put gas in that car, which is required to get the motor to work, right? You got maintenance on it. Just the car alone is going to be too expensive. And then you got medications, you got to eat, you got other household bills. Maybe you have a cell phone. All these things that are essential in today's world, a lot of people cannot afford these because they do not make enough money. So lawmakers are asking, let's get more to people on a fixed income because they are needed at this time. But again, everything is going to come down to what lawmakers want. But right now, the huge news out today is that this jobs report that we saw this morning is not looking great. It's looking good for the stimulus package, but for the American people, this is a struggle. So, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and fill you in on all the latest news and updates. I just want to thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Again, thanks for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one. See you guys on the next one. See you guys on